I am pretty sure I'm the only guy in America who thinks that the mugshot of Trump isn't cool, isn't great. Oh, wow, it's going to raise so much money. Oh, finally, we brought him to justice. Am I the only guy? Nah, no way. No way I'm the only guy in America who understands that this is the ugliest moment in American history. What's uglier? Or maybe it's equal. Maybe it's equivalent. Maybe that's the game we want to play, right? It's equivalent to the utilization of the justice system against certain people because of certain characteristics. We don't like them. We don't like that kind. I had the day off, guys. I was taking care of some personal stuff today. Took the day off. But I have watched every schmuck and fool and complete and total loser on every platform everywhere get this so wholly damn wrong. How is anybody okay? You cheering this? You suck. Do you understand that there is a fundamental difference between recognizing the idea of the rule of law and the abuse of that rule of law? There's a fundamental difference between saying, well, this guy deserves it and how he deserves it. The idea of retribution is not an American trait. The idea of saying we won't take that crap from you is an American trait. These are different things. Not today. Not today. And this is not my style. Come at you screaming, come at you yelling, come at you pissed. Holy damn. We're well through the looking glass here. It's time to ask, what the freaking hell have we just done to America? Guys, welcome to the show. Presented by Americans for Prosperity, AmericansForProsperity.org. Economic liberty, free speech. That is what it's all about. I'm not saying that people can't speak. I just want them to know what the freaking hell they're talking about. I want them to know what it is that they're saying. By the way, if you want to smoke along, this is the Lavareda from Crowned Heads, that Nicaraguan wrapper, Nicaraguan and Dominican in the binder and filler. Here, this is the 52 by 6.5, 52 by 6.5. Lavareda, one of the newest lines from Crowned Heads. Probably the most expensive line, still only in the $20 range. But I trust John Huber with any cigar. If you haven't seen it, there it is. That's the mugshot heard around the world. That's supposed to be something where if I'm on the political left, I'm supposed to say, finally, he got his. And if I'm on the political right, I'm supposed to say, man, that is so great because it's going to absolutely backfire on the left. Well, everything backfires on the left. This is nothing new. That's not even a statement. Look at the people screaming, this is going to backfire on the left. And you'll find there the person who loves the lowest hanging fruit. They do. They're not thinking. All they're doing is hoping you'll get ginned up enough to send them a couple of goddamn bucks. I'm apologizing. I'm infuriated. And you never, ever should do something when you're angry. But every now and then, it pays to remind yourself that you are as human as the next guy. If you're cheering the mugshot because Trump's going to make a lot of money on it, you're ridiculous. If you're cheering the mugshot because finally Trump got his, it was Claire McCaskill, who's the former senator from Missouri, who on MSNBC, when Rudy Giuliani got, had to surrender and because of the ridiculous counts in Georgia, and they are ridiculous counts, a RICO predicate, you got to charge all 19 at once. So you can get one person on little something and decide the whole 19 are guilty because you can't get Trump on this. You can't get him on this. Never confuse the issues. What's happening to him is an abuse of power. I'm talking about this mugshot and what it means for America. The only reason Fannie Willis, the DA there in Fulton County, goes about this as a RICO statute is to try and somehow get him because you can't get him on his own. And then one of them in the 19 was able to get the case moved to October, and now she's trying to move everything to October. Why? She has to try them all together. She can't win it for certain if she goes in these little separate cases. You understand that. You understand how abusive Fannie Willis is. I'm saying out loud, Fannie Willis is disgusting, despicable. She should be disbarred. And of course, I favor Jim Jordan absolutely utilizing the House of Representatives and the judiciary to investigate her. RICO? This was a racketeering scheme? Oh, even Italians go, oh, bravo. I didn't even see that one coming because RICO was used against Italians. I mean, let's just be clear. of what it is. It was abusive when Rudy Giuliani used it against Italians, and it's abusive now. No, not only Italians are involved in organized crime. You get my point. If everybody involved with organized crime had the last name of Smith, there may not be so many laws. But hey, I'm a guy with my own thoughts. We'll leave that for another time. Fannie Willis is wrong. Fannie Willis should be looked at. I say Fannie Willis should be disbarred. RICO. What the hell are you talking about? So now, because one guy got his case moved to October, she has to try and move everybody to October in order to accommodate. Let's leave that aside as well. Let's talk about the mugshot and why it's a problem, what it means to the country. Because it's a really important lesson here in what it means to the country. The mugshot is the absolute 180 from the place we want to go. You know, when it says we the people in order to form a more perfect union, it's an unbelievably profound statement because it says a more perfect union. It starts with the understanding that we want something better than we have today. That idea, that thought process is a very forward-looking philosophy, and it's so much of what makes an American. Being forward-looking, looking for what's next, looking ahead, incredibly important stuff. Nothing about this mugshot is looking ahead. Nothing about this mugshot encapsulates that point of view. The mugshot says that we aren't a country that believes in the plurality. We aren't a country that believes in the minority and the majority. We are a country that believes in one thing, not e pluribus unum, out of many one, but unum, one. I think that's the Latin. They believe in one party. They believe in one point of view. They believe in one philosophy. And when they do not get that philosophy, they will do anything, and I mean anything, to destroy it. You can argue, if you're on the political left and watching this, which of course you are, whether you're on Rumble, whether you're on locals at TonyKatz.com. I love it. Be sure to join me in all the places and leave comments, leave questions. I'll answer everything because I'm infuriated, disgusted with the left, and I'm angry with people on the political right who are cheering this and they're sharing the mugshot. Oh, this is so great. Nothing about this is great. And it's time to grow up and stop being such damn fools in the hopes that you'll get one more click. The celebration, or where the political left is, the political left has stated clearly that there's only one way to think and one way to act. Noah Rothman, who is at National Review, and I agree and disagree with Noah Rothman, but I like him as a brain even when I disagree with him. He wrote a book called The New Puritans, the left's war on fun. Well, it's much greater than an idea of the war on fun. The left are puritanical. What they've decided is their way is the only way, and your way has to be corrected. It can't be tolerated. It can't be allowed. It has to be corrected. And that correction happens by force, whether we're talking about a Chairman Mao China-going communist struggle session, or whether it's by jail. Look at what they did to Masterpiece Cake Shop, right? A bake shop there in Colorado. The people who make the cakes, what they tried to do to the woman who designed websites. What do you mean you won't design this website? What do you mean you won't write this on a cake? Well, I don't support same-sex marriage, but they can buy a cake. I just won't decorate it. Nope, not enough. You should be forced to decorate it. In what society, in what place, on what planet do we think it's okay to force someone to do something? Now you say to me, well, Tony, you're pro-life. You want to force people to have abortions. Force people to have babies and not have abortions. The political left actually describes it as a forced birth. If you want to know something more Orwellian, I can't help you. And if you want to compare giving life to decorating a cake in the conversation of rights, well, you're lost. It's not that we're going to agree to disagree. You are fundamentally flawed as a person if you don't see the difference in the idea of you can't force somebody to go against their moral beliefs, and killing, because whether you think abortion is murder or not is a completely inconsequential concept. It's killing something, and you have people on the left who won't even admit to that. One thought, one belief, one theory, one philosophy. You will do what we tell you to do, or else. That's the way the political left acts. Now, the funny thing is that they don't know how that is to be applied from one day to the next. Got a little trouble keeping this thing lit. It could be me because I'm talking so much. They never know what the rules are one day to the next. They never know when something's okay or something's not okay, because that is, of course, the fundamental flaw in progressivism. The wokeness changes hour to hour depending on who's decided to be aggrieved about whatever. And therefore, you're always on your toes. And you never know how to act and react. And it makes it just a horrible existence. And as we've all seen, progressives, man, are miserable folk. I don't think that's stepping out of line. They're freaking miserable. And I, of course, have friends who are on the political left. I don't think every one of them is miserable to a person, but certainly the people who are their leadership are. And check out the people who have been desperate to get Trump by all means necessary, like Claire McCaskill, the former senator from Missouri, who, when Rudy Giuliani had his mugshot, went, woohoo! Who woohoos? What are we just doing here? She didn't woohoo because finally somebody's being brought to justice. She was thrilled because her political opponent is getting what it is she believes they deserve. That's an obscenity. That's this mugshot. This mugshot is not about a violation of the law. This mugshot is about finally getting somebody what they deserve. And that is not our system. Cheer this? You are a sick, twisted freak if you're cheering this. Now, I get why Trump put it out. I get, Trump, he made a statement about this the other day. Listen.
A very sad day for America. This should never happen. If you challenge an election, you should be able to challenge an election. I thought the election was a rigged election, a stolen election, and I should have every right to do that. As you know, you have many people that you've been watching over the years do the same thing, whether it's Hillary Clinton or Stacey Abrams or many others. When you have that great freedom to challenge, you have to be able to, otherwise you could have very dishonest elections. What has taken place here is a travesty of justice. We did nothing wrong. I did nothing wrong. And everybody knows it. I've never had such support. And that goes with the other ones, too. What they're doing is election interference. They're trying to interfere with an election. There's never been anything like it in our country before. This is their way of campaigning. And this is one instance, but you have three other instances. It's election interference. So I want to thank you for being here. We did nothing wrong at all. And we have every right, every single right, to challenge an election that we think is dishonest, that we think is very dishonest. So thank you all very much, and I'll see you very soon.
He is right. He has the right to challenge an election utilizing the legal system. And of course, if we're going to say that challenging an election is wrong, well, then what about Stacey Abrams? What about Hillary Clinton? Of course, you're going to have people like this. I'm having a celebration party. I'm cheering this. Well, Adrian, I guess that's what happens when you can't get laid. What is it something I said? You're cheering the abuse of the legal system. Why would you cheer that? Why would you be proud of that? It was Andre. Yes, the law works. Is that what happened? Tell me about the law in New York, where you have Donald Trump, who has been accused of a felony in handing a payment to Stormy Daniels because it came from this account and not that account. That is a misdemeanor under every single bit of precedence, under every single rational lawyer's point of view. Alvin Bragg, the DA, wanted to make it a felony because he wanted to go after Trump. This is Beria. Show me the man and I'll show you the crime. Right? This is the guy who led Stalin's secret police. It isn't about the law. It isn't about equal justice under the law. This is about attack. This is about trying to get a guy out of office. Well, not out of office, to keep him from office. This is about punishment of a political enemy. Now, you'll note that I never said that you can't say he's wrong. You could say Trump is wrong all you want. I'm not going to tell you no. Wrong for the way he handled January 6th. Wrong for the way that he handled the election. Wrong for having classified documents at his home. But if he's wrong, Joe Biden is wrong. So why aren't you in favor of charges against Joe Biden? This is exactly the point. It should be equal justice under the law, and it's not equal justice under the law, and you know it. And you know it. By the way, if you want to know what kind of guy Michael is, which of your insults is going to save Trader Trump from his daily gang rape by BLM? The only thing, Michael, I'm thankful for is that I'm not you. The only thing I'm thankful for is I have an absolute understanding that there is a right and there is a wrong. There is personal animus, there is personal anger, there's personal disgust. And I have those things regarding Trump and January 6th, Trump and the election, Trump and the election regarding the Georgia Senate race. I have my issues with him. And I'm different than other people. I'm not so sure that guy can win a general election. No, wait, I don't think he can win a general election. None of what we are seeing, none of this is about that. This is about the abuse of power. Why can't you just admit that the abuse of power is wrong? And the answer is you like it. Now just sit back for a moment and understand it. You like the abuse of power. You want to hurt people that you don't like, that you disagree with. You want them to suffer if they do something you disagree with. Let me ask, why are you like that? Why do you have this dictatorial point of view, this authoritarian point of view? You know, I love that the left calls the right fascist. You see it all the time. The left calls the right fascist. I hate fascists, going after fascists. The very definition of fascism is government working with industry to go to limit that done with big tech, to limit your ability to talk about COVID, your ability to talk about the Hunter Biden laptop, still doing it in places like Facebook, other places. If it wasn't for Elon buying Twitter, if it wasn't for Rumble, where I am right now allowing this conversation, you think the others would allow it? And yet I'm somehow supposed to say, well, private industry, they can do what they want. They're doing it under threat from a federal government that they are coordinating with, because far too many of them are in the political agreement that others who disagree with their politics should be punished. That's not something to be proud of. That's something to be disgusted by, because it is disgusting. It's obscene, and it's not American. That's the story of this mugshot. We have gotten away from equal justice under the law. And when we talk about two-tier justice system, that mugshot is it. That's the story. I had said earlier, I don't mind Trump sharing it. I get what Trump is trying to do. I get the idea that you want to rally people to your cause and to your side. Look, they're coming after me. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to slow down. This, that, and the other. I get it. But we're going to see people wearing this thing on a t-shirt. This thing isn't cool, man. It's ugly. And I'm not saying Trump's ugly. I'm saying the very idea of it is horrific. And I don't see people in any way bothered. I don't see why. I can't understand why people aren't bothered. More bothered to a level of action. Now, Sandy, you and I are not disagreeing. If we don't have the right to challenge the elections, we'll be no better off than North Korea or Iran or name your country. That is absolutely true. Of course you can challenge them. And as a reminder, it was Congressman Jamie Raskin, who was one of the impeachment managers, I believe, who challenged the election of Donald Trump in 2017. He challenged. And now Trump should be in jail for a challenge. Well, Tony, he led a riot. No, he didn't. If you'll note the indictment from Jack Smith, the special counsel, none of it discusses Trump in a riot because he wasn't there. You have an impeachment hearing where you said he incited an insurrection that went nowhere. And you have really, while you have many different charges against these people on January 6th, you don't have that one. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Charles wants me to know where my head is. Okay. You've added so much to the commentary. Thank you. I believe the Hoosier expression is bless your heart. I believe that is it. Michael. I believe your last commentary was about gang rape. Do I really care what you have to say? Look, you eliminate yourself from a conversation. My problem is that we're not having the right conversation in America, and I'm pretty pissed about it. The right conversation in America is what the hell just happened to us? What just happened to the country? It doesn't matter if you like Trump. I'll give you an example. Of course, I don't like Joe Biden. And I say, of course, because of the economic policy, because of the border policy, because of the lack of pushback on China, because of COVID policies, because of the constant little lies and large lies, because of the Inflation Reduction Act. For a myriad of policy reasons and personal reasons, I do not like the man. And yes, there is clearly a lot of shenanigans regarding Hunter Biden. I consider this the biggest story in America, the Biden crime family. The idea that bribes possibly did happen. What it is, the Congressman James Comer has been finding out, and I want to know even more about it. But you know what I've done, both on radio, here on video, and on TV? I have pushed back against the people pushing impeachment. When I see Representative Greg Steube, I believe I pronounce it Steube of Florida, pushing impeachment articles, he's wrong. It's him wanting to get some attention in Florida. I'm not interested in the congressman getting attention. By the way, I'm not angry at the congressman in terms of personally. I think it was just a really bad move. And so for that, I'm willing to excoriate him on the political. But I do want an impeachment inquiry because I want all the data. Mitch McConnell stated, he's the, of course, Senate Minority Leader. Mitch McConnell stated that he didn't want to go through another impeachment because it's bad for the country. And this is why Mitch McConnell needs to be replaced as the Senate Minority Leader. An impeachment is not done whether or not it's good or bad for the country. An impeachment is done when needed and necessary to remove somebody from office. Sometimes it's needed and necessary. Now, he is correct that it is not actually a legal proceeding. It is a political proceeding. And of course, all the decisions that come are indeed political. But you don't take any options off the table. It is a weakness of Mitch McConnell's and why he needs to be removed as the Senate Minority Leader. So maybe we can get to the Republicans and the Conservatives having a Senate Majority Leader. But the inquiry has to come, and I have pushed for that inquiry for now forever. This should have happened already. Get the data out and get the facts out before you make a decision. And then you let the chips fall where they may. Do you have a case legally? Do you have a case politically, etc.? The case politically about Trump and what he did on January 6th, all of this anger here is to not vote for him. What the left is bothered by is that this guy right here is still crazy popular, and they can't understand it. They cannot figure out how is it possible with everything Trump has done that he's still popular. Well, maybe your question's justified. Maybe it is weird that a guy who's been all through this is leading so much in the polls. Maybe the people who are talking about this are just the most vocal people, and in the end, they're going to say, you know what, we got to win. We're going with DeSantis or Ramaswamy or whomever, right? Anybody except Asa Hutchinson, obviously. But the decision gets made not by Fani Willis, because this indictment and this RICO statute is about trying to put your thumb on the scale of an election. And this mugshot right here is meant to put the thumb on the scale of an election. It has no other purpose. And once you realize that, there's nothing to cheer. How does one come back from that? How do you come back from that moment, from that place? How could you possibly think you could come back from that moment and from that place? The damage done by these indictments, by the special counsel Jack Smith, by the district attorney Alvin Bragg, by Fannie Willis in Fulton County. It's damage that is going to stick with us for a generation. I believe it was Newt Gingrich, the former speaker, who was discussing that just a few weeks ago. This damage sticks with us. This is not finally justice is served. This is, oh my God, we can't trust anybody. The left knows that the argument here about breaking the law is about a perversion itself of the law. You're saying that Donald Trump wasn't entitled to the First Amendment. You're saying that the same thing Stacey Abrams did was fine when it was Stacey Abrams, but wrong when it was Donald Trump. And utilizing RICO is more proof that you don't have it on him and you don't give a good holy damn. Get something on someone. That's the plan. That's the whole RICO plan. Get something on someone, which said earlier in American history, I'm sorry, world history, show me the man and I'll show you the crime. I don't understand the people who are going to wear this t-shirt, right? I guess in their heads, they're being supportive. Maybe I'm wrong, right? Maybe that's how you remind people of how sick and twisted things are. And you get to enough people and they realize we have to do something about this. And maybe that's not the election of Trump. It's just the changing of where we're at, because where we're at, there is no, if this continues, there's no return. The political left is overjoyed by this. Why? Why is there joy at the manipulation of the legal system? My God. We should be looking at ourselves, looking at our kids, looking at friends and saying, where have we fallen to? Because we have fallen far. If you listen to my radio shows, if you catch my videos, I'm an optimistic guy. I'm honest. I'm clear. You people disagree with me. I got comments disagreeing with me. I don't care that you disagree with me. You want somebody to be raped. I don't pay any attention to you anymore. Understand what you said. Do you get what you said? You're so angry with Trump. Let me go back to it. I think everyone needs to see this again. You're so angry about Trump that you hope he gets raped. Here it is. Where's your humanity? It's not enough that he goes to jail. No, it's only enough that he gets gang raped. And by the way, I don't know why you called it by Black Lives Matter. Sounds like you're a bigot to me. But you did that with a smile. Go through your comments. You're overjoyed. If you think trolling is the thing that works, baby, we're on a whole different level of conversation. We're talking about the future of the nation. And don't you understand that if the left, the puritanical left, keeps this up, you can't disagree with us here, you can't disagree with us there, you can't do this, you can't say that, eventually they come for you. The funny thing about when you take a look at communism, I doubt there's anything funny about communism. When you take a look at leftist thought process and leftist philosophies like this, everybody who's a part of it always thinks they're in the circle, right? They always think they're in the circle. What they don't notice is that the circle constantly gets smaller and people get pushed to the outside. And you've already seen people who thought they were in the circle. Next thing you know, oh, wait, I did something wrong too. Oh, wait, I'm part of the Me Too movement. Oh, wait, I did it. And they're out. And the circle gets smaller and smaller and smaller. You've seen it with Xi Jinping. His finance minister was one of his great guys. He promoted him up. He did the thing. The next thing you know, the finance minister was missing for a month and then got fired. How is that possible? How is that possible? Well, it's possible because in those kinds of leftist worlds, they get more and more demands, create more and more paranoia, and therefore everybody's a problem, they're a threat to you, and you got to get rid of them. That's the way it is. It's like people who were in the gulags in the days of Stalin who said, I can't believe I'm here. If Stalin knew I was here, he'd get me out immediately. We're friends, you know. He'd be so angry. Stalin's the reason you're in the gulag, you schmuck. But they were schmucks, useful idiots, and they didn't know any better. Eventually, you're on the outside. This is the problem with your mentality. This is the problem with your philosophy. You don't understand how this hurts you because you're too busy feeling good about it. You're excited about it. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised based on some of the comments I'm seeing if you weren't sexually titillated by it, which is understandable because you have no one to go home to. When you have no purpose in your life, it is amazing what it is that you will glom onto for some level of feeling in your soul. No part of this is good for America. And sorry, progressives, this isn't good for you either. This isn't justice. This isn't righting a wrong. This is retribution via authoritarianism on someone you don't like. That's obscene. This is obscene. Of course, Fannie Willis should be disbarred. Of course, by the way, you know, Jack Smith, he's gone after people, and then the case goes to the Supreme Court. 9-0 decisions overturning Jack Smith's decisions. Alvin Bragg, we know it's a lie and a fraud. On the classified documents, what we're going to find out is whether or not the president taking documents is the act of declassifying, because the president can declassify whatever they want, including Joe Biden, by the way, except his documents come from when he was vice president. And if we're going to go after Trump, we need to go after him too. Yet it hasn't happened. My God, we can't even get the Secret Service records to find out who visited the home in Delaware where the documents were next to the Corvette and his drug-addled son, Hunter. Nothing about what we see here is good, and you shouldn't celebrate it, I think, either way. But I guess I can be told that I'm wrong, that people should share that mugshot. We should talk about it and what it means and how we correct this. People tell me all the time, the election's rigged, the election's that, we'll never win another election again. Look, I'm not going to go in some of those other directions that you hear people talking about. I believe in winning. And I believe in holding people accountable. And I believe in just replacing these cogs. That's all they are, the Politico. If I ever run for office, just a cog, I don't do my job, replace me. That's exactly what you should do. That's exactly what we should do all the way around. And you got to win the Senate, you got to win the House, you got to win your governor's races, you got to win it all. But maybe on that part, we should be talking about it. We should be showing it. We should be sharing it everywhere. What the hell just happened to America? Nothing good. The abuse of the system by a political party to get retribution on the people who disagree with them. Not even their enemies. Well, I guess they view anybody who disagrees with them their enemy. So yeah, they're enemies. Despicable. Disgusting. Make sure you vote. And note some of the comments here, and just remind yourself how important it is that you're not like them. Just don't be like them. I want to make sure I'm clear about one other thing. I didn't say don't fight. You didn't hear that from me. No, this is not an acceptable way to act and be. This is not an acceptable way to have a country. Nothing about this Trump indictment in Georgia and this mugshot is acceptable. Don't ever think that it is. And yes, talk to your friends and everybody else about how it's unacceptable. Then actually go do something about it. You know, one of the things the left talks about is, why is the right always involved in these culture wars? Whether it's about libraries, school libraries, or whether it's about gas stoves, or name the thing, the right's always in a culture war. Look, the left started the culture wars. All we got to do is finish them. And we got to finish this. And sometimes we're going to have to do some things that you're going to say, man, that's a bit extreme. The left has shown you they never rest, they never quit. All they had to do was let Trump lose. If Trump is so beatable, all you had to do was let him lose. Let him run against Biden and let him lose. Couldn't do it. Couldn't just do it. It wasn't enough. Destruction was the only thing that was enough. So remember that when you're voting. Remember that when people start talking about how our voting system works and mail-in balloting. Yeah, you know they're going to push mail-in balloting again. It's going to be there. So if they ballot harvest, you ballot harvest. And if they ballot cure, you ballot cure. And if they drive people to the polls, you drive people to the polls. And no, you're not too busy. It's the thing you have to do in order to win. You have to fight like they fight. Now you say to me, Tony, if I fight like they fight, I'm going to be indicting people for no reason. Once you win, you can actually make the system work again. That's always been my take. And that's probably the hopeful part of me. The part of me that isn't cursing up a storm 24/7. That's the place I want to get to. This is not good for the country. As a matter of fact, this indictment, this mugshot, this thing right here, that's not even the country. That mugshot, that's not American. So I'll leave it there. Guys, my thanks to Americans for Prosperity, Economic Liberty, Free Speech. That's what it's all about. And I don't know if I have anything else to say. Sometimes you just got to go to the commercial break. With that, I appreciate you very much. And as for the comments, it's a lot of ugly stuff. Let the ugly people be ugly, man. Let the violent people be violent. But my God, I was going to say something like I probably shouldn't say even on video. The fight is winnable. Of this, I have absolutely no doubt. I will catch you next time, guys. Don't forget to subscribe on Rumble and on Locals. Take care.